Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. I hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling Winning Wednesday. I was sitting here thinking, what day is it again today? Oh yeah, it's Winning Wednesday. So did you all have a super fantastic, sparkling day? Let us know what your wins were for the day. Put them in the comments below so we get to celebrate them with you. My day has been amazing. Let's see, it started off with my the wake up call training that we do every morning. It was an awesome call. Then I followed that by my accountability call with my accountability coach. Let her know about some revelations I had late last week and into the weekend and stuff, and now where to go from here with those revelations that were made. And then the RV fix-it guy showed up here and played around with the AC unit that's broken down. He could get the fan to work. We got the AC turned on. There was no burning smell. There was no rattling noise from the fan, but it was still putting out hot air. So we went up there. He had a look at it, and you heard him. I mean, the van would rock, and with him moving around up there, and there's lots of banging and clanging and everything else going on. And when he comes down, he says, well, that AC unit's going nowhere. I said, out of Freon? And he says, nope, compressor's burned out. I was like, oh, does that mean a whole new unit? He says, yep. And I said, and how long is that going to take? He said, well, if we can find it, probably about 3 to 4 weeks. And I'm like, 3 to 4 weeks for that, 3 to 4 weeks for my plate, for my base plate. Yeah, we're going to be here a little longer. So after he left, called up the front desk and got extended through to the 1st of June. And then also looking at renting a site here annually for the next year, from the 1st of June through to the 31st of May next year. It means I can come and go as I please, but I'd always have somewhere to come back to, so this would kind of be like my home base. And it works out just over $500 a month, which is pretty good, but you pay it all up front, and I'm just like, okay, but I got to do a background check. I'm like, really, seriously? So I went up the office, got the paperwork. I had a dog annoyed at me because I wouldn't take her with me, but when it was 98 degrees outside, there was no way in hell I was leaving her in the car. She didn't comprehend this, so she sat in the full sun up on the dashboard waiting for me to come back instead. And I'm like, well, at least she had the fan blowing on her, if nothing else. Because it's this AC at the back of the RV that works, not the front AC. So she sat in the full sun until I came back, and then she went and drank a gallon of water. What seemed like a gallon of water anyway. And so then there was that done. Got some work done for a client, and went online to look for, during my lunch break, went to look online for storage units and all of that. Found one that sounded about right. So you can reserve, right now you can reserve units without actually putting any money down. And so I reserved the unit, and then it said I had to go fill out this form online. So I went to fill out the form online, and my phone rang. And it was somebody from the storage place calling and say, hey, when are you looking at, she said, you got your start down there on the 1st of June, but we noticed that you started filling out the form. And I said, well, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? She says, not until you're ready to start. I'm like, oh. And so then we talked a little more, and I discovered that, yes, they had the right size unit for me. Yes, it was inside, but it was not a climate-controlled storage facility. And I was like, damn it. I said, I need one of those. And so I told her what I needed, the minimum size I would take, and I would prefer like the next size up and all that. And so she says, darling, she says, don't you worry about it. She says, I'll go find one for you. She says, even if it's not one with the company that I'm with, she says, I will find one for you and I will call you back. Well, she called me back like 30 minutes later. She had found the right size in a climate-controlled place at the right price. It was cheaper than anywhere else. And told me what it was. So I looked up online, had good ratings and everything else. And so now that one's reserved starting the 1st of June. So I'm going to go in on, call them up on either Friday or Saturday. No, hang on. Thursday or Saturday. And let them know when I can go and get everything arranged. And then as soon as I get that done, then I can let the moving company know, and they can start the whole process of getting my stuff out here. So I was like, yes, everything's like falling into place. And now it feels a lot better. Instead of racing around trying to find a place to buy, it now feels better that I've decided I'm going to rent a site here for a year at this particular park. That feels so much better and so much more comfortable, and I feel good with the decision that I now know it was the right decision to make. house hunting, a lot of excitement. Yes, there were some great places we looked at, and I could see how I could make them work and everything else, but it just didn't have that right feel. Now, the resort had the perfect feel. The resort that I want to get into has the perfect feel. The places that were up for sale at the moment were not the right ones. And so now it's sort of like, okay, so that's where I'm probably going to end up, in this other resort, but my place is not for sale yet, and it's not at the right price, so I have to wait a little bit. So so I'm kind of excited now that I'm here till the 1st of June. I've got my background check coming up. I'm still like, oh, this is going to be fun. I have done so many background checks in the time I've been here in the States, because they had to do a background check when I applied for my green card. They had to do another background check when I applied for citizenship, complete with fingerprints and all of that rigmarole. And then with Brad's job, because of his job, they had to do background checks on me as well because of his security clearance that he had. So we've been through a few of those. And so then they're saying, and I'm like looking at this thing going, this isn't really a background check. It's just more of a credit check with all the questions that they're asking. And I'm like, okay, so maybe they're putting some background stuff in there. I don't know. But I'm going to go drop this form off tomorrow during my lunch break so that they have it. They can get started on it. Because they said, oh, it takes 2 to 3 weeks. It takes anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 days to 2 weeks? What the hell do they do? But I can run a background check on somebody really fast. It's really easy. There's websites you go to for that. But we shall see. The only thing I think they're going to bulk at is the fact that I don't turn 55 till December, and this is a 55 plus community. So they may bulk at that one, but then my thing's going to say I'm in my 55th year. I have not completed my 55th year, and you just said 55 or older. Well, technically I am in my 55th year, so therefore I am older than 54. We'll see if that flies, but I think it's going to go through because this feels so good and so right and everything. Like I said, everything's falling into place. And they said that they had these certain sites, and they said, oh yeah, the ones that we rent out are ones that are at the ends that are on the corners and this, that, and the other thing. Well, and I said, well, I do have a dog, so I know I'm going to have to stay in the pet area, correct? And they're like, yep. And I'm trying to rack my brain because we have walked the outer rim and the inside rim of this pet area across every corner in this pet area, and there are houses on those corners. There are like park models and houses set up on every corner in the pet area. And I thought, well, they said the pet area or that back onto a greenbelt. There is no greenbelt in the pet area. All the corners have houses on them. So I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting to see where they think they're going to put me, which means then that they can't charge me the higher price. They'll have to charge me the lower price. So we shall see. We shall see. We shall see what happens when they're going to tell me tomorrow what sites are available, so I can go for a drive past and have a look. So when I put in for the background check, then they'll tell me what sites are available. But until then, they won't. But they've told me they've got nothing on the road that I'm currently on. So if I do get an annual site, I am going to have to move, which is fine. I can handle that because I'm within the same park. And so if I can walk backwards and forwards to get the car and the RV and all of that sort of thing as well. So we'll get this sorted. It's going to be fun. But anyway, I got to go. I got to go chat with a friend. We're going to do some brainstorming, and I can't wait. I absolutely love to brainstorm. So let us know what your wins were for today. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you bright and early tomorrow morning for Thankful Thursday.